you mind if I sit on this?
That's a good idea.
What's your name and where are you from?
Okay. My name in Holland was Kees. And my long name of baptism is Cornelius, which was my dead name too. And but in Holland I went the name Kees. When I came to the United States, the guy I started working for, he was a Dutchman too. He said, we cannot call you Kees here because that's a name for a yellow tractor.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we get Cornelius, there is Neil in there. Cornelius, so it's Neil.
And how long have you been here in the States?
I came to the United States in 1961. May the night from the May 19th to the 20th. So it was either 19 or it was either 20. It was right at midnight.
Gotcha.
And there's an old boy at a nursery a little further down, and he went under the name Livingston's Rose Garden, but their name was Borst, and they came also from Holland. They came actually from the same town in Holland, and they sponsored me to come to the United States. So the sponsorship lasted about, I can't remember if it was 5 or 6 years. That the sponsor is totally responsible, like a dead figure.
Wow.
So if I would have been in trouble with the law or whatever, he'd be like a father figure. Yeah, take care of that. But I kind of felt like they took a little advantage of me because I was grateful to come out here.
Yeah.
But they keep saying, oh, you just this the only thing you can work for us and all that, but I want to get married to start a family, and I know I couldn't do it with the salary I was making. I was making $60 a week.
Wow.
And most of the time was like 7 days a week, all spring and summer anyway. And they didn't want to take any money out like taxes or all this stuff, so once a year I had to come up with a kind of lump sum of money. It was kind of hard. So after being here for a little over a year, the doctor from a little hometown wrote a letter to me, and he said, if you want to see your dad alive, don't wait too long. He has cancer and it's incurable, and he might live a month, he might live 2 months. And so the money I had saved up, I went, bought an airplane ticket, and I was on my way the next day or 2 days later. In the old days, everything was bicycle radius. Never any farther on the bicycle could take you up and down within 1 day.
Yeah.
So I rented a car and I went to a lot of places what people like to go to Holland for to see. And I took my dad and my mom down there to all the places. Well, they still have a chance to do it. And but then I got to the point I spent all my money, and he was still alive. So actually I went working again now in Holland, not to be falling back on the family, the financially burden and all that.
Yeah.
And when I was working in, I think it was Rotterdam, Holland, they came with a car. They said, your dad took a turn for the worse, you better go down right now. And when I came down, he was already passed away. So.
Wow. So the main thing I wanted to ask you is just what I'm trying to kind of narrow this down. What was life like when the Germans were occupying? I remember you told me you were pretty young, 6 or 7.
I was born in 36, so they came in Holland in 1940, and the worst year of the whole war was 1944. They called the Hunger Winter, and there was people were even killing dogs. They eat the cats and the dogs and everything, because there was nothing else to eat. They started eating even tulip bulbs, make something out of it. But what I remember, my dad used to be a shoemaker and a shoe repairman, and besides that, he did a little town like 4,000 people, a lot of different type of little sideline, or even orthopedic. When people have an uneven leg, you have to build the sole thicker, you know, one shoe and all that,
Mm.
you know. So, but when the Germans were occupied, they had a strict rule that they have to be always looking at their best. You know, they couldn't walk around with the leather jacket on with a coat with a button missing.
Mm.
They got penalized for it. They had to clean the hallways or whatever.
Mm.
So when that happened, and they also got steel cleats on the bottom of the shoes, and then when one or two was missing on there, they got penalized too with that. So almost every day, some of them German soldiers came to my dad's repair shop, and my dad couldn't speak German, and they couldn't speak Holland. So, but basically, he got the message because they just threw it on his lap and they fixed it right away. Never pay anything, of course. And he had to put like sew buttons on the leather coats and put them steel studs down there on the shoes and all that. And they were pretty rude about it. And my dad, he hated the Germans for different reasons. That was on the one. But during the war, we had like 5 kids, and he couldn't come up with a meal on the table. That must be a terrible feeling, you know, for a dad not be able to, you know, to feed your kids. We were crying of hunger, and they kind of keep one eye open or closed, whatever you want to call it, because we had a steel stuff just like that. We go to people's little gardens, with some people have what they call community type gardens, you know. And under the summertime, there's or the carrots or whatever, we then pull them out and just eat the big old carrots and whatever else you can eat raw. And but I think it makes you stronger going through a bad time because you can appreciate a good time so much more. And but like I say, the Germans, they had steel studs on the shoes, and when they were marching, you can hear them probably for a mile away because the sound they make, and they were always singing too. Always, you know, in German. And but they were pretty rude, and close to the tail end, the people, you know, couldn't have any radios. Of course, they were all confiscated, and they couldn't have any electric motors of any kind. But my dad had a sanding machine, you know, when they put new soles on it, they have to go sand it when they, you know, around all that. And of course, doing work for the Germans, they let him keep his motor for the, you know, for that they can do his job.
Yeah.
But at night time, when it was dark, they take the motor of the sanding machine, and it went the next street over, and they it was homegrown tobacco, and they used that motor to cut the tobacco up, you know, fine, like tobacco.
Yeah. For people that aren't familiar with the term occupation, what did it look like that you're in the country of Holland, in the Netherlands, but the Germans are there in charge, or?
Well, they had total control over everything. Even there was coupons, you know, for food, and there was what they call it a haarkeuken. What it was is every day around 12, 1 o'clock, you can go to a certain place, and you get a great big kettles, and they make something out of it. You know, you can with your coupons you can buy, you know, that stuff what they fixed.
Like a bowl of soup or something.
Well, most like soup. It was just really watery. You know, it was a lot of like carrots in it and some potatoes, and I think once in a while they probably put some chicken meat in it, but it was just sporadic. Yeah. Get a little piece.
Wow.
But yeah, hunger was the big thing for us kids growing up. And of course the Germans, they were pretty rude about the young girls. You know, they rape and all of that. But I was too young to realize that part. You know, I didn't have any idea. I was too young. But after the war, you know, about reading a lot of stuff and hearing from other people who were older, that was a really bad thing. They just,
Wow.
and if an Hollander shot a German soldier and killed him, there was a certain amount of Holland people, and I can't remember how many, out of retaliation, that they shot like 10 of them.
Wow.
Yes. And another thing, you know, once in a while they needed a lot of help in the factories in Germany for the making airplanes and ammunition and all of that.
Yeah.
And once in a while they just went to a town, you know, and they picked up everybody between 16 and 25 or whatever, picked them all up, shipped them over down there. And some of them never came back, but some of them came back after the war. And, you know, I remember there was a big thing in our little town when some of these people came back.
Yeah.
They really celebrated that they made it. That was a horrible time. I hope it never happen again, because I don't think people will be able to adjust to that anymore. See, we were already, even years after the war, we were still poor people. It took a long time, before they kind of started. Because I told you the deal about my brother and I, and we were already like 14, maybe 12, 14 years old, had to go to work every day. And they take one egg, like I told you,
Yeah.
beat it up, put it in the skillet, and go with it. Put the skillet till they fill the whole skillet,
Yeah.
and then they put it on the fire. And when it was done, they cut it into 4 pieces,
Yeah.
and they get two double sandwiches, and I got a 2 double sandwich. That was for lunch.
Yeah.
One egg.
Okay.
Well, that ought to be pretty close to 5 o'clock anyway, huh?
Yeah. I hope I didn't use up too much of your time.
All right. That'd be a good time to go home.
All right.